These are the 10 types of idiots that you will encounter if you play an MMORPG. Before we dive into the video though, we have to thank this channel's sponsor, Zygor. Zygor is World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on and also the sponsor for this channel, so I wanted to give them a quick shout out real fast. If you're looking for awesome leveling guides, achievement farming guides, mount collecting, gold making, you name it guys, check out Zygor today, link down below in the description. And after trying out Zygor's free version, if you decide to upgrade to full, be sure to use Nixium for 20% off. Thanks guys. Number 1, the "this game is dead" guy. Is your favorite MMO populated by hundreds of thousands or even millions of players around the world? Well, it doesn't matter one bit to this fella, because he will always be quick to tell you about how this game, your favorite MMO, is dead. At the height of Wrath of the Lich King, this guy was yelling in Dalaran about how WoW was over and buried. When everyone was flocking to Final Fantasy, he was right there to tell new players that the game is deader than a doorknob. It doesn't matter the MMO, the population, or even if this guy enjoys the game or not. He will always be quick to tell you that the game is garbage, you should be playing another MMO instead, and if you ask him about that MMO, oddly enough, he'll tell you that that game is dead too. Number 2, the "I played this MMO for 10 minutes, quit, and now I will state passionately that this game sucks" guy. MMORPGs are not the kind of game that you can play for 15 minutes and expect to get a lot out of it. Leveling, it takes a while. Dungeons take time. You really need to assemble a lot of people through guilds to clear endgame content. But this guy didn't even make it out of the Norn starting zone in Guild Wars 2, yet he will explain to you in detail why that MMO sucks. You will always encounter these people in MMOs talking about other MMOs that they allegedly tried. These guys who consider giving an MMO a chance is killing a handful of mobs with a single spell and then concluding, yeah, this game's not for me. Now look, I will say that I am someone who is not going to waste hours upon a game before deciding if it's good or not. I don't want my time to get wasted, but when it comes to an MMO, at least play it for a couple of hours or so before making any sort of conclusion, or at least reach your first dungeon or battleground. That's what I think anyway. Number 3, the "this game is my entire life" guy. Remember when you played RuneScape and there was that one guy that was always online? Night or day, he was always there, selling items, gathering resources. You'd see him all throughout the world. So you reached out to him. You asked him, "Do you ever sleep?" And he proceeded to tell you his whole life story. This kind of gamer, and there's quite a few of them, quite literally does not have a life outside of the MMO that they are playing. Their character is them, the personality that they choose to associate themselves with, and their entire livelihood outside of the MMO, it just exists to serve the needs of their character in the game. They rarely log off, all their friends are online, and they tend to be very lonely and shy people if you encounter them in real life. It's not prudent to pity these people either, as that's not what they're looking for. What they really want is a friend, someone that they can enjoy the game with. So play with them, encourage them to try out new games, and maybe one day you guys can meet in real life too and take your adventures outside of the MMO into horizons unknown. Oddly enough, if you meet these people, they can end up being one of your best friends. Number 4, the "I rushed to level cap, burned through all the content, and now I'm angry" guy. As I mentioned before, MMOs are a slow burn sort of game, one you gotta let yourself get immersed into over a period of time. But these people don't care about any of that. They just treat the MMO like it's a math problem that needs to be solved as fast as possible. There is no adventure. Lore means nothing. And the community, it exists only to serve their needs for higher numbers. These are the kinds of players who will learn exactly how to get to level cap as fast as possible. They will rush through the dungeons, the raids. They will be toxic to any person who does not approach the game like they do. These players are some of the worst that you will encounter in your MMO adventures. Now, I'm not even saying that min-maxing is bad. That's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm just trying to say this. If you were seated around the table with your friends and you were all playing D&D, would it really be fun if you just skipped all the laughs and odd moments and just rushed right to the final boss at the end of your campaign? Maybe I'm just strange, but that right there, that surround the table, play D&D, laugh, have a good time approach, that's always been my approach to MMOs. But maybe I'm just weird. Number 5, the my girlfriend guy. This is the dude who almost seems to feel insecure about the fact that he's playing an MMORPG. So much so that he always has to, in some manner, remind everybody that he has a girlfriend in real life. Whether it be in general chats, dungeons, raids, this guy just can't help but talk about his girlfriend, mentioning his relationship as a form of conversation starter. You'd think that this guy quite literally worships his lady, like she's some sort of goddess from how he talks about her constantly. But in all actuality, he's probably just trying to get a prideful one-up in his own mind, telling himself, well, I have a girlfriend, unlike the rest of the people in this guild or in this group. Ironically though, this guy usually never actually has a girlfriend. It's all just a giant lie. Number 6, the let me write you a best-selling novel instead of PvPing guy. Battlegrounds and PvP and MMOs, who does not love waging war upon the enemy, tearing down their base, bringing glory to your faction? Well, that's all well and good, but all too often PvP is ruined by this guy. This is the dude who sits in the Battleground chat and just talks instead of PvPing. Instead of playing the game, he instead will tell everybody about how bad they are. He complains about lack of tactics, lack of coordination. Frequently, he calls everybody noobs and losers in real life, unlike himself, obviously. And if you open up the score sheet, here's the fun part, you will quickly discover that this guy is always doing terribly. Yikes. He's the most killed person in the battleground. He's captured no flags, nothing. This type of MMO player just seems to exist to belittle and cause drama whenever they enter into a battleground. And why? Nobody knows. Number 7, the I'm lagging guy. This man's internet is received through a satellite dish made from forks and safety clips held together by Elmer's glue, judging from how often this dude is always lagging. On a good day, he can manage to finish a dungeon, sorta, but most of the time he is frequently disconnecting or seen running mindlessly into walls like an idiot. Repeatedly, he tells you that he's lagging and to just be patient with him. And even when you are, the problems continue and this guy continues to hold everybody up. Ultimately, you get fed up. You remove him from the group, in which case, as soon as he logs back in, he proceeds to yell and scream about how impatient, rude, and selfish that you are. The worst part is, oh my goodness, these fellas with this ultra slow internet, for some reason, they always have to play a healer or a tank because they know it will make the rest of their group think twice or 3 times before kicking him. It's actually kind of genius, but very frustrating. Number 8, the role player. There are some people out there, guys, that really get into the MMO that they are playing. They will play any game associated with the MMO's title. They will read the books. They will consume countless hours of lore video content on YouTube just to be able to really fall into the world all the more. And you know what? I respect this. Immersion is such an important part of an MMO experience, so if the game is good enough to inspire a person to learn more about the world, that's some good game and world design if you ask me. This type of player will typically become what's called a role player. Now, don't immediately think that what I mean by that is a role player on one of the role-playing servers. No. Yeah, it could be that person, but this is the type of gamer who will give to his characters lore-accurate names, pursue the perfect mount for his headcanon backstory, and approach each encounter in the game as his character would story-wise. It's such an enjoyable phase of playing an MMO, but unfortunately, it always doesn't tend to last too long. But when a person finds themselves in this headspace when playing an MMO, it is awesome. Number 9, the noob. No, I'm not talking about someone who just started playing the game, who's lost, confused, doesn't know how to level up. No, not that guy. I'm talking about the guy who is max level. He's decked out in some pretty good gear, and yet for some reason, he has no idea how to play the game. He is a walking, breathing oddity contradiction. This player, at first glance, he appears like he's a master of the game. He knows what he's doing, but when he joins your group, he does the lowest DPS. He doesn't know the tactics. He has to continually ask directions on where to go. You're left stunned when this type of player crosses your path. How'd you even get all that good gear if you don't even know how to do? Okay, whatever. Did he buy his character off of some Russian website? Is his mom playing on his account? Did he forget to hit the like and subscribe button? We may never know. Number 10, the guy. It's the most common MMO player of them all. This is the gamer who never talks. Never will you see him talk in general chat. He does not respond to whispers, and even when in a guild, he will never communicate outside of maybe a few emotes if you're nearby. This guy is quite literally treating the MMO like it's a single-player game, never bothering to consider that there are real people in front of him trying to get him to communicate. Again, through some odd series of events, sometimes these guys will even appear in raid groups or on PvP teams. They will never talk, they won't discuss tactics or strategy, but they will always respond with hopefully better gameplay if you criticize them for messing up. In my years of trying out different MMOs, I have encountered this player so many times. Even I myself have been this player at times. So I guess maybe, for some, an MMO just doesn't need a community element. After all, who wants to have a conversation when a /nod is all you need to get your point across? Guys, thanks for watching.